House to Home, presented by RE/MAX Diamond Realty.
One. Oh boy. I guess it is fitting that yesterday was the 4th of July because, man, I'm assuming the fireworks are going to fly today to some degree. And Liz and Gina from RE/MAX Diamond Realty Guam, I'm assuming that you guys both worked even though yesterday was Independence Day. You guys are always working.
Yes, that's for sure.
There you
Just a little bit.
go. Just a tad. I only had
Yeah.
like 19 showings in like in a 10-hour day, but but you know, we are going to do something interesting on this show because last week you might recall, and if you didn't, go on our YouTube channel, you can watch all of the episodes of this show. We were actually talking about the fact that Guam's in a very precarious position right now because what we have as far as real estate inventory is limited, and the laws of economics basically say, you know, with limited supply, the price tends to go up. But if you have property, you can't exactly build on it if with certain like EPA regulations. So Gina, maybe can you get us up to speed? Where are we right now, and has there been any sort of progress or regress, I guess would be the right word, with that situation?
Actually, I'm happy to announce, I feel like there's been progress. I'm happy to announce that
Good.
Senator Perez was able to squeeze us into her calendar. So on June 28th, she reached out to the legislative committee through Liz, of course, our president, our GAR president this year. She did reach out and she rescheduled our meeting. And so the legislative committee met with her, I think it was June 28th. And she did update the committee by stating that she's actually writing a bill that she's going to introduce sometime in September. And that bill may reflect parts of the bill that Senator Lee, if people out there who were, you know, part of those hearings and were, you know, looking at the bill that Senator Lee was trying to push during the last legislative session, Senator Lee had actually started the ball rolling on this issue of not building over the aquifer unless you had half acre. And so I think parts of what's going on now are a residual effect of that discussion and what Senator Lee put into place, which a lot of people were really, really apprehensive, and they came out to protest that bill had even been proposed. But it looks like now the EPA is, my opinion, this is my personal opinion, has nothing to do with GAR. I think they're trying to enforce provisions of that bill with regulatory policy instead of waiting for a bill to come in. But Senator Perez is putting together a bill that she has reported to us. She'll try to get that read in it or disseminated among the senators in September, because right now they're tied up with the budget hearings. So for me personally, Senator Joanne Brown also reached out, and I want to thank Joanne for, you know, taking the time to read the email and calling and saying, hey, you know what, Senator Perez is the right person for you to be talking to. If she does come up with the bill, I will be in full support. What else can I do to help? So
and again,
thank you.
She used to run EPA, so she would know.
Yeah,
That's
you know,
right.
I think, yeah, I also sent her a personal email saying, hey, you were at EPA, please give us some guidance, because as far as I'm concerned as a realtor, and I think and Liz can speak to that herself, but I think the Guam Association, all we're really trying to do is be part of the solution. We're trying to contribute our talents to try to move this issue forward, because this is a community problem. And it's not, you know, us bickering with each other. That's not how this is going to get resolved. And I also want to say, Senator Vice Speaker Tina Munia Barnes has reached out a few times to say, hey, what can we do? Where are you at? What needs to be done? And kind of give us some guidance. Yes, you're at the right place. Senator Perez is the senator you should be talking to. Where are you at now? What else can we do to help? So I just want the public to know we've been sending out this message to all of the senators, and those are the three that I've really paused. I know how busy everybody is. They've paused and made an effort to be part of the solution. So thank you to those three senators.
Well, let's ask Madam President, you know, as head of GAR and everything, what are your thoughts? And, you know, do you see this as an actual like effective solution, or is this like maybe more of a tourniquet or a stopgap? Or
Well, the bill that was introduced by Senator Bisco Lee, there were some gaps there that needed to be filled in. For example, rather than just taking away the ability to build in northern Guam, there were some solutions in the amended form of the bill which allowed for it does not allow for septic tanks in northern Guam because they were afraid of the pollution, but there are other systems that were approved across the nation that would address this particular problem. So the proposed bill or the amended bill addressed it, and that is what Senator Perez is looking at right now. And the fact that they're actually looking at it, at correcting the issue to move forward with that. I mean, we'd like to see a bill proposed before September, but of course, they have their due process. They have their own systems and different sessions that are in place. So yes, we are supporting that because it would allow for people to build. Our only concern is once they do that, there's got to be some timeline. So when they propose a particular solution, that it doesn't get hung up in the governmental agencies by them sitting on it and looking at it. There's got to be a timeline and a sunset so that we can continue to move forward versus a bottleneck every time we move it forward with the government agencies.
I think they call that dance, the add a loop two-step.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Gina and my concern and those in the real estate community is that if you're holding you as an owner of property, your hands behind your back, and you cannot build, especially now with our housing shortage, we're really vocal about correcting the system and the laws that prohibit your ability to build. It prohibits your ability as a property owner to develop and build on your property. So if there's a problem, we came up with solutions and we want to push this forward. And again, I want to stress, it's up to us, the community, to help each other move it along. We all have to be vocal enough to come out when these bills do come forward, because when we do speak up, then our voices could be heard as from the community.
Okay, so let me now ask, I appreciate the diplomacy, Liz, with which you spoke. Now let me ask Gina, basically from the standpoint of the Black Angel of Death, right? I'm not saying that you are. I'm just saying, from worst case scenario, right? Misapocalyptic, let's say, right? I'm
going to reach into the screen, Jace.
I love you. But how bad could it actually get, right? If things get really out of control, and it sounds like, it's obviously cause for concern right now. How bad could this become as far as with the market?
Okay, well, if you go into the MLS system, which is our database for real estate properties for sale,
right,
we are bringing this up as an issue, but the bigger picture here is all of the properties over the aquifer that are currently listed for sale, and those are the properties that are more recent. They're priced in a affordable price point, right? For most people, because these are smaller lots. So that's why they're priced reasonably. So right now, as realtors, maybe landowners don't know that this is going on. So if I'm buying directly from a landowner, that owner may not know this is going on, because here's the deal. EPA didn't give notice that they're going to start doing this. They haven't been doing this. They just all of a sudden decided that they're going to start doing this now. I don't know what triggered it, but they did not effectively give the community, hey guys, from now on, we're not going to approve building permits over the aquifer if it's not on sewer and if you have less than a half acre. So they made the decision one day, and that's what they're doing now. So what if you're a realtor who hasn't ran into this issue and you're selling property that fits into that category, and you sell it to you, Jace, and Jay, 6 months from now, your building plans are ready and you go in there for the permit and you can't get it. This is a big problem. We have a housing shortage where people can't, generally speaking, it's getting harder and harder for normal working class families to be able to afford what's out there, which means those people who can't buy, they need to rent. Well, the rentals are going up. People can't afford the rentals either.
The middle class has
So-
basically dropped out of the housing market, is what you're saying, right?
Well, but housing is critical. I mean,
Yeah.
what are we going to do? Will the people start being homeless? That is not an alternative when they have the ability to build or to buy cheaper land so that they could create housing. Housing is like food. It is a necessity. I mean, even the government is addressing the fact that our homeless population, they need a roof over their head. Well, everybody needs a roof over their head. And this regulation it's already harming the community by restricting the number of people that could build. And, the sad part of this is that most people want to build over the aquifer. Our population base is from Chalampago up north. That's where everybody wants to live.
Right.
So to put restrictions on that right now, the real unfairness of this issue is to put restrictions on it right now when the government doesn't really have a solution. That's the biggest problem. The government is saying no, but there's absolutely no solution. And that's a fact, because the type of septic tank that they're promoting, I actually sourced it out and I found somebody here on Guam that has it and his system has been tested, it's been working, and EPA has been monitoring it for the last 10 years. He still can't get it approved. And it's the exact type of system that they're saying they're advocating for. But when I went directly to EPA to say, okay, I found it, can people get a permit if they just when they do their building plan, they're going to use this system? He said, oh, no, you can't do that. Why? Well, because it's not approved by law. So do you see the issue here?
Right. Yeah.
They're promoting something that they legally cannot promote. So there is no solution right now.
Well, the solution will be legislation.
Yeah, go ahead and sum up, Liz, if you can.
So the solution would be regulation, the proposed bill that Senator Paris is hopefully going to introduce, and we're pushing it because it poses the solution. It creates the solution on how people could build utilizing a different type system that reduces the nitrates release from the septic system. So we're about the solution, and it's in the bill right now that they're looking at and evaluating, and hopefully will introduce in September or sooner, because then that will address the problem. But again, I want to emphasize, okay, if the bill is introduced and approved and moved on, that's fine. But then when it gets to the governmental agencies, I think the critical part is for them to move as well in terms of policies and procedures that would be put in place to cover it, rather than taking a longer period of time. Time is of the essence.
Right.
And as Gina puts it, costs are going up and it's not going to go down. I mean, that's what we see.
Well, the one thing, unfortunately, we cannot combat is time, and we are out of it too in this segment. So, Liz and Gina, thank you so very much for this. We're just scratching the surface. Yes, please. Go ahead, Gina.
One really fast one. I'm really praying for the community. Please call the senator's office and please ask if they could help us out, because you're really helping yourselves. And the thing is, we had this conversation 2 years ago and then it got dropped. So everyone's always so enthusiastic about saving the environment, but when push comes to shove and they actually need to work to put things in place, it gets dropped. So for the community, please help us. We're only two voices and we need your help.
All right.
That's
So
right.
many voices are going to make a difference, everyone. Thanks, ladies.
Thank
All
you, Jason.
See you guys next time. Thanks for watching.